let us start something new, oscilloscopes. So you, I guess, have already seen an oscilloscope by this time in a laboratory. Yes? Maybe through online mode, virtually. Okay, what is an oscilloscope? You might have seen two types of oscilloscopes. One, the newer ones, which we call the digital oscilloscope or digital storage oscilloscope. Okay, that in short is DSO, digital storage oscilloscope. That is the newer instruments, digital era instruments, and the old classical instruments are called CRO or CRTO, cathode ray oscilloscope or cathode ray tube oscilloscope. Okay, so let us study both of them a bit. Let me begin the CRO first, cathode ray oscilloscope. What is it? It is, let me draw it is basically a vacuum tube a glass chamber sorry. So basically it's a vacuum tube made up of glass, and on this side, on this end, we have an electron gun. What is an electron gun? Basically, some cathode material is heated up, and from that electrons are emitted. Then in front of that we have some arrangement for focusing that emitted electrons. Okay, and those electrons are focused, and after that they move along a narrow beam, and when they hit the other end of this tube, on this side we have some phosphor coating, I mean some material which gets illuminated when this electron beam hits that material and light is emitted. So when this electron beam hits this other end of this tube, we will see a glow at that point wherever the electrons hit that screen. Okay, and so this side is called the screen, and then here we have electrodes, two sets of electrodes, one like this, and so this is one set of electrodes, one above, one below, and another set of electrodes is like this, one in front and one at the back. Okay, the back side one, how do I draw? Like this. Okay, actually these are, everything is inside, and between these electrodes you can apply some voltage. Okay, suppose between this you apply a voltage that can be a function of time. Call it V in function of time. Okay, and then between these two electrodes, one is towards me, another is away from me. Between these two, you can also apply a voltage. That will also be a function of time. Exactly what will be the waveform, that we will discuss shortly. Now what will happen when you apply these voltages? Okay, suppose you apply only this vertical voltage and you do not apply anything between these two horizontal plates, then these electrons will get deflected upwards. So this is positive side, this is negative side, and the electron will be bending towards the positive plate, and therefore the electron beam will get bent and it will hit somewhere here instead of hitting at the center. And the more this voltage is, the electron beam will bend more and it will go more upwards. Okay, therefore the glow that point will also move upwards and upwards as you apply more and more voltage between these two vertical plates. In the same way, if we apply a voltage between these two plates, suppose I apply plus voltage on that plate and minus on this plate, then the electrons will again be deflected by these two electrodes, but now it will deflect towards the right side. Okay, not upwards, but now it will deflect towards the right side, and the dot or the glow will shift somewhere at this point. Therefore, now by changing these two voltages, I can move this point, this glowing point, anywhere on the screen. If I apply both these voltages simultaneously, then this electron beam will be deflected both upwards and towards the right, and it will come somewhere here and we will see a bright glow at this point. Okay, so we will see it from outside, from here. Now then what we can do, on the screen we can lay out some grid lines like a graph paper. Okay, and therefore if the voltage between these two vertical plates is more, the beam is moved more and more upwards, and by looking at the position of the beam we can estimate this voltage between these two plates. But oscilloscope is not used only to measure a voltage, because for that we have voltmeter already. Oscilloscope can actually display the waveform of a time varying voltage. Okay, and that is the main purpose of an oscilloscope. Suppose here this voltage is varying with time. Suppose this is a AC voltage, then this voltage is also changing. Therefore, the electron beam will move up and down depending on how this voltage V in T changes with time. But then what we will see on screen is a glow dancing up and down, and it will dance so fast that we will just see a vertical line, nothing else. Okay, but now suppose at the same time I apply a time varying voltage between these two horizontal plates such that the waveform of this voltage, let me call it Vt, time varying function, and suppose this waveform is like this. It is like a ramp, so it starts from a negative value, goes up to a positive value, then suddenly goes down and comes back to this negative value again. then it goes up, again it comes down suddenly, and it continues like that. Okay, then because of this voltage, the electron beam, how will it move? It will move from extreme left to extreme right gradually as this voltage increases gradually. So electron beam will move from left to right, and then suddenly after coming to the extreme right, it will suddenly come back to the original point when this voltage drops suddenly here. So the electron beam will move like this. It goes, and then back suddenly. Then again it goes and back suddenly, like that. Okay. Now, what will happen if this voltage and this voltage both are applied at the same point, at the same time, at the same instant? Okay. Suppose this voltage is now varying sinusoidally. It's a sine wave, and here this Vt, horizontal voltage, is a sawtooth waveform like this. Then what will happen? Suppose at this instant of time, the horizontal voltage is extremely negative, so the beam will be on the leftmost position, and suppose this is time equal to 0, t equal to 0. Here also this is suppose t equal to 0. Suppose this point is say t equal to t1, and that point is here t equal to t1. Then what will happen? So from here time 0, the electron beam is moving towards the right gradually from left to right, and at the same time this voltage which is applied between the vertical plates, that is also changing like this. So at the same time the electron will come down and go up, so it will follow a path like this. Okay, so the electron beam will follow a trace or a path like this, and after coming at this point, what happens? This voltage becomes suddenly negative, so electron beam will come back to the leftmost position again suddenly. At the same time, after this voltage continues like this. Okay, so suppose this is T2, this is T equal to T2, and this time is again T equal to T2. So then what will happen after, so this is at T equal to 0, this is T equal to 0, then at T equal to T1 the beam comes here, then again it comes back to this point and it traces the same path again, and it reaches this point again at T equal to T2. This way the beam will continue to move like this again and again, and on the screen we will see a curve like this, because this dot is moving so fast that we cannot see the dot, we will see it moving continuously. AS, you have a question, I think?
Hello, sir. Sir, for this, like the Vin and Vt should have exactly same frequency, right?
Right, that's what I have assumed. Yes.
And that Vn should be periodic. Like if it is not non-periodic, like it will be like superposition of many figures.
Right, that is also true. You are absolutely right. Okay, suppose so. Yeah. For this demonstration, you have correctly observed that I have taken the frequency of this horizontal voltage and vertical voltage to be same. Absolutely right. Okay, and also this is a periodic waveform. Suppose here we are applying a non-periodic waveform. Okay, suppose this waveform is like this. This is the first cycle. After that it looks something different, maybe like this. Then what will we see on screen? The beam will first move like this, but after that in the next cycle it will move like this, and then if it is continuously changing, then on the screen also the display will be continuously changing. And if this frequency is very fast, then everything will overlap one top of that, and we will see very difficult to say what we will exactly see. Okay, you are absolutely right. And also, if suppose this frequency and this frequency is not same, suppose, okay, so let me take a case where this V in has a frequency which is like this. This is time 0, this is time t1, this is time t2. So that means this frequency is half of this frequency. Then what will we see on screen? On the first cycle, the beam will move like this, and then on the next cycle, it will move like this. After that, again, it will move like this, then again like this. So on the screen, we will see these two, both these lines together. Okay, so
Sir,
yes.
sir means in the display of the oscilloscope means we can, I think we can, if we means tune the frequency of the VT, means the voltage across the horizontal plates, we can actually change the time scale, time scale of the display.
Right. So yeah, I will come to that. Okay, so yeah, what we see now for this case, if this frequency is actually lower than this frequency, we will not be able to see the waveform properly. In fact, if this frequency is not a proper multiple of this frequency, you can imagine what will happen. We'll first get one trace, incomplete cycle, then the next may be something like this, and everything will superimpose and the graph will be completely spoiled. We will get the correct graph only if these two frequencies matches. If this frequency is a proper multiple of this frequency, then we will see a complete, a proper graph. Therefore, it is necessary that suppose here I apply a unknown voltage waveform and we want to see this waveform, then here also I have to apply a sawtooth waveform whose frequency is a proper multiple of this frequency. And normally in an oscilloscope we will have arrangements to change this frequency, so that there will be a knob so that we can change this frequency, and for a particular setting we will get a proper display. Okay, and otherwise we will not get the proper display. Basically there are some common adjustments we can do. Number one, this voltage that we are applying between these two plates. Okay, before that we may have an amplifier, so that this voltage that we are measuring, we can scale it up or down, and this amplifier will have a knob that you can turn. If you increase the gain of this amplifier, then this displayed voltage will be more or less. Okay, and then also from the number of the divisions on this graph, we can, and from the gain factor of this amplifier, we can measure the amplitude of this waveform. Okay, so this is one adjustment we can have in an oscilloscope to increase the size of the display in the vertical direction. Then also we can change the frequency here, changeable frequency, adjustable frequency. Okay, so if we for example take this frequency, what will happen? Suppose if I make this frequency double, how will the display change? For
We'll
same
see two cycles. We'll see.
Absolutely right, we will see 2 cycles or double number of cycles. So therefore by changing the frequency here, we can change the horizontal size of the graph. Okay, so that is another adjustment. There is one more thing we normally have in an oscilloscope, what is called a triggering circuit. I will not go into the detail how it works. I will just say what it does. What it does? So basically, it looks at this input waveform, okay, and somehow maybe it checks the points where this voltage crosses the zero, like here, then here, and from this somehow it measures the frequency of the input, and thereby it automatically adjusts the frequency of this horizontal voltage. Okay, that's what I am calling VT, T for triggering. So it automatically can measure the frequency of the input and thereby adjust the frequency of this input this triggering voltage, so that we get a proper number of cycle on the screen. Okay, so those adjustments are possible, or actually they are in an oscilloscope. Now I cannot go into the triggering circuit or those details. Firstly, I don't remember. Secondly, for that you need the background in electronic measurements, which you will study next week onwards. Okay, so that is the basic of oscilloscope. Now in an oscilloscope, there is one more thing we can do. Suppose, okay, suppose instead of applying this sawtooth waveform here between the horizontal plates, suppose here also I apply another unknown input voltage. Let me copy. Let me call this voltage as Vxt, an input voltage, and let me call this as Vyt. Why? Because this voltage will change the y or vertical position of the beam, and this voltage will change the x or horizontal position of the beam. Now, depending on these two waveforms, Vx and Vy, we will see on screen different possible graphs, different possible patterns, and those patterns are called, I'm not sure about the spelling. Let me do a quick Google search about the spelling. It's called Lissajous plot. Lissajous, Lissajous plots or Lissajous figures or diagrams, whatever you call. Okay, so for example, suppose I apply two sinusoidal waveforms, Vx and Vy. Suppose Vx is some A sin omega t, and Vy is also some B sin omega t. Then what will we see on screen?
A straight line?
Yes, absolutely right. So we will see a straight line on the screen. Okay, because you can solve, I mean, basically Vx, from this you can write Vx is equal to A by B times Vy. So it's a straight line relation between x and y. So you will see a straight line passing through the origin. Now suppose Vx is A sin omega t and Vy is A cosine omega t. Absolutely right. We will see a circle. If you eliminate time, so you see that Vx square plus Vy square is equal to A square. So we will see a circle on screen.
Sir? Sir, here when we are considering all the trajectories of the electron, means here we are completely neglecting the gravitational effect on the electron trajectory, right? Means we are considering that the electron is only in purely electric field. Because if there
Electron is, I don't think electrons will be much affected by gravitation. Firstly, what is the mass? Very negligible. Gravitational
Yes.
force is also, so compared to that, you can maybe at home you can do a quick estimate. So you know the mass of electron and you know the gravitational force G, and now you apply the, so suppose this voltage is known, okay, then from this voltage if you divide that by the distance between the plates, you will get the electric field intensity that you multiply with the charge of electrons. So that force definitely will be much stronger than gravitational force. Yeah. Now, yeah, so we will see a circle. Another way of deciding what the plot will be is basically you take a time value, time t equal to 0, find the value of Vx, mark that point, Vx at t equal to 0, Vx equal to 0. So we will be on this line, and Vy will be 1. So okay, we will be at this point at t equal to 0. Then you increase the value of time. Now Vx will be increased, so we will move towards the right, and Vy will be decreased, so we will come downwards, so we will come at a point like this, and in this way we will move in this direction as you change the time from 0 to more values of time, omega t, okay, omega t equal to 0, pi by 2, 2 pi, etc. So we will get a circular path. Achha, now what will happen if I take Vx equal to A sine omega t and Vy equal to B cos omega t. What will we get? Ellipse, absolutely right. Now because Vx by A square plus Vy by B square, that is equal to 1. So we will get an ellipse. Okay, acha. And now in the same way, Vx, if Vx equal to A sine omega t and Vy equal to B cosine omega t minus some phi, what will we see? Any idea? We will again get an ellipse. Again an ellipse. Okay. Acha. So this is also ellipse. This is also ellipse. What will be the
axis will be tilted, I think.
Absolutely right. So in one case the ellipse may be like this. In another case the ellipse may be like this. So the axis will be tilted. Okay. Very good. Acha, now suppose I apply. Acha, let me ask this in a puzzling way. Okay. Suppose this is the screen, and on screen I get a display like this. Okay. So from this display, what can you say about the two voltages? So this is the trace of the electron beam. From this, what are the informations that you can readily say from this? Suppose this height is, just a second, call it h from here to here, and suppose this is w. So what can you say from this graph about
The
Vx?
Vx
we
can
could-
be a triangular like
like plot, and V in can be sinusoidal.
Uh, okay, acha. So, what can you say about the amplitude of Vx? Amplitude of Vx?
It is proportional to h by 2.
Amplitude of Vx,
Oh,
x
Vx.
W or W by 2. Okay, and Vy will be h by 2. Okay, what else can we say about this?
Sir, we could say about the ratio of their frequencies.
Absolutely
Frequency.
right. Absolutely right. Ratio of the frequency. So what is the ratio of the two frequencies? Frequency of Vx by frequency of Vy. So let me do this way. Suppose I start from this point, and suppose I don't know which way the beam is moving. It may be moving in this way, or it may be moving in this way. That is difficult to say. But no matter which way it moves, I can say that from here to here, this way, one cycle of the horizontal voltage is completed. It has gone from extreme left to extreme right and back to the extreme left. So this is one complete cycle of Vx. But how many cycles of Vy is this? So it goes up, then down, then up, then down, and then 0. So how many cycles? One cycle, two cycle. Okay, so one cycle of Vx and two cycle of Vy. That means frequency of Vy is 2 times that of Vx. Am I right? Okay.
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes, please.
Sir, as you have shown the path, means if it's a continuous path like this, means if it goes along like this and then again returns, then sir, means will the horizontal waveform be a triangular, because the horizontal distance is decreasing uniformly, na? So if it is a triangular pulse, like, then it will immediately come to the left side, na?
No, no. See, in this case, I'm not. Yeah. So I mean, see, after this diagram, from this point onwards, I am saying that this voltage Vx is not anymore this triangular wave. Okay. Suppose, I mean, this when you have only one input voltage and that you want to see on screen, then on this, between these two plates, you have to apply a triangular sawtooth waveform, and then you will see the waveform. That is one story. Okay, that story I told earlier. After that, I am saying what will happen if you apply two arbitrary waveforms, one here and one here. Okay, instead of this sawtooth waveform, suppose here also you apply a sinusoidal voltage. Here also sinusoidal voltage, here also sinusoidal voltage. Then what will we see on screen? Okay, so that is what we are discussing now. And then we said if we apply two sinusoidal voltages, one here, this is also sinusoidal, this is also sinusoidal, and then for different cases, we saw that we will get a straight line or a circle or an ellipse on the screen. Okay? And then after that, now I am saying, suppose two different voltages are applied between two sets of plates, and on the screen we see a display like this, then what can we say about the two voltages applied? Okay, so now here we don't know whether the input voltage Vx is sawtooth or not. Maybe not, most likely not. Okay, is that fine?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
So, but like, can it be like triangular and sinusoidal? Like Vx can be triangular and V in can be sinusoidal.
From this diagram itself, we cannot say about the waveform exactly. Okay, why? Because I'm just looking at this trace, but I don't know exactly at what speed these the beam is moving on along this line. Maybe the beam is moving at an uniform speed like this, or maybe it's moving like this. I mean, first slow, and then we are still getting the same display on screen, but the time versus voltage graph is different, right? For that I need to know the speed at each and every point, which I cannot.
So means can these diagrams, can it uniquely determine the individual voltage with respect to the time waveform? I don't think so. Means they can, from these figures, can we conclude what are the individual variations of the that voltages with respect to time? Means can it determine uniquely?
I mean, in general, I think in most general case, no. I mean, for this part, this is the example. Suppose this is the display. Only this display is given, and we know nothing about the individual voltages Vx and Vy. Then I am telling you that it is possible that, suppose for the same display, if I tell you that the beam is actually moving at a uniform speed, okay, over this line, then okay, at t equal to 0 it is here, at t equal to 1 it is here, at t equal to 2 it is here, t equal to 3 it is here. Then okay, from this you can say how the horizontal voltage is changing. Oh, that is changing like this, time 0 here, then going up, then so this is basically the waveform of the horizontal voltage. Okay, but now if I say no, that let me use a different color, blue. Suppose at t equal to 0 the beam is here, at t equal to 1 the beam is not here but say here. Okay, at t equal to 2 the beam is here. Then how is the waveform? Then the waveform is at t equal to 0 it is here, at t equal to 1, 2, 3, t equal to 1 it is here. So it has already gone up this much, and then at t equal to 2 it has not gone that much. Okay, so it's like this. Okay, so even if it looks sinusoidal on this display, here it is not. Actually it is not, right? So do you follow that, or should I repeat? Let me repeat. Okay, suppose, let me take two cases. Case number 1, these black points. Suppose the beam is here at t equal to 0, here at t equal to 1, t equal to 2, t equal to 3. Okay, acha. Then let me plot time versus Vy, time versus Vy. At t equal to 0, what will be the voltage? 0. At t equal to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. At t equal to 1, what will be the voltage? This voltage, this value. Same amount as this and this. At t equal to 2, this height. At t equal to 3, this height. Now you join. This is going to look like a sinusoid. Okay. Now let me take another case, which is like this. At t equal to 0, the point is here. Let me make it more oblique. T equal to 2, it is here. T equal to 3, it is here. T equal to 4, it is here. T equal to 5, it is here, and so on. Then how will the waveform be? I will draw on the same scale, same axis. At time 0, the voltage is 0. At time 2, which value? This value, that means this value. Sorry, time 1. So here is the voltage. Then at time 2, here how much? Almost same. Almost same, slightly less. At 3, slightly less. At 4, slightly less. So how is the waveform? it's maybe like this and then like this. So it's not sinusoidal. If the previous one, black one is sinusoidal, then the blue one is not sinusoidal. What's the difference between the black and blue? Their trace graph is same, but at each and every time instant, the beam is not at the same point. So do you follow that? How many of you follow that? You may raise your hands. Okay, that's good. Fine. So in general we cannot say what is the waveform, etc. We may have different waveforms. And yes.
Sir, I think if we know the actually one time relation of one waveform, then we could find out the other if we are given the graph.
Yes, yes. If you know one, then you can find the other. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Sir, sir, in the original arrangement, if the trigger that frequency of Vt is slightly different than the input signal, then will the waveform appear to be moving along the x-axis?
Yes.
On that.
It may appear to be moving along the x-axis. It depends how different the frequency is.
Yes,
if it is
sir.
slightly
How
different,
much?
you will see it moving. If it is little more different, maybe it will move so fast that you can't see anything almost. Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, sir, means I have another thing to say. So means this figure that we're seeing is actually the relation between Vx and Vy, right? Means for if it is a circle, then we can conclude that Vx square plus Vy square equal to a square.
Right.
And if we want to find the relation between the voltages and the time, then time will be a parameter. Means
Right.
for example, if we when we say about the equation of a circle x square plus y square equal to a square, we means assume x equal to s and t, b y equal to s and t. So here t is the parameter. But if we leave the circle, means if there are different kinds of figures, so we can means consider different parameters. Now means
Right.
we can
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. I mean, so
then even how can we even conclude about the relation of the frequency? It can be like that na. One is sinusoidal and the other is not even periodic. Still we by doing some mathematical manipulations we can get this figure na. Means I have that confusion. Means how can we even conclude that one is a periodic means waveform?
so that I did in this way. So
For example, sir, which the curve that we have generated means I've seen that there are means this type of curves can be generated from from one non-periodic parameter and one periodic parameters also. These kind of bounded curves can be generated.
if one signal is non-periodic, then this display will also change with time. If both of them are periodic, okay, then the display will be constant. If both of them are periodic, then that means after some time both of them start from the same point, and so the display will remain constant. But if one of them is aperiodic, that means that does not repeat itself. Okay, after any time interval it does not repeat, then the display will keep changing on the screen. Okay, so if both of them are periodic, only then we will get a stable display. That is for sure. Okay, and the other thing what I did to find the ratio of the two voltages, I basically counted. I assumed that okay, let the electron be flowing like this, be moving like this, okay, like this. Then starting from here and after coming back, I see that the horizontal voltage has gone from extreme left to the extreme right and back. So the horizontal voltage has completed one cycle, okay, from here to extreme right and then back. And at the same point, the vertical one has completed two cycles. You see, up 0, down 0, up 0, down 0. So two cycles. Now maybe one of them is a square wave, another is a sine wave. So that I don't know, but one thing for sure, that by the time the horizontal voltage has completed one cycle, left, right, left, The other one, vertical one, has completed 2 cycles, up, down, 0. So from that I am saying that one frequency is the double of the other. Okay. Achha. Now if you know that that the waveforms are sinusoidal, and then from the graph you can actually, I mean from the pattern you can actually estimate the ratio of the frequencies, provided the ratio is a proper multiple. If okay, so for example, if one frequency is 3 times of the other frequency, then we may get a pattern like this. Okay, then so one is 3 times of the other. Suppose Fy is 3 times of Fx. That means by the time Vx moves from extreme left to extreme right, okay, half cycle from here to here, half cycle of Vx will be, so half of Tx will be equal to 1.5 of Ty, correct? So this is half cycle, and here we will complete 1.5 period of Vy. So this is 1.5. Okay, after that it will come back from right to left, and this will how will it move? Okay, let me do it this way. First let me draw this, and then from here you fold it back. Okay, so this point comes here and you fold it back. Okay, so I think it will superimpose on top and it will come back here. So this will be the display. Please check whether I am correct. Okay, so this will be the display if we have 2 sinusoidal waveforms with this relationship that Fy is 3 times Fx. So you see Fx is moving like this sinusoidally, and one cycle is this much starting from here. This is one cycle, and Fy is moving like this, up, down, up, back. Okay, so 3 cycles. Let me check again. This is one cycle, here to here one cycle of Fy, then one cycle, then back, this is half cycle, 2 cycle, 2.5 cycles. I think I have made a mistake. Can anyone figure it out? If this is the display, if this is
Sir, when Fx makes one half cycle, then we go from left to right once and come back from right to left once. Is that right?
When Fx makes half cycle, we go from left to right. That's complete. Okay, here to here half cycle. I have found the mistake. The mistake is okay. So half time period of x, that means from left to right, is 1.5 cycles of y. 1.5 cycles means up, down, one cycle, and then here is 1.5 cycles. Okay, so after this we have to do the folding. I did the folding from here, that was wrong. I have to do the folding after this point. So this you fold it back and it will look like this. Okay, now the ratio of the two frequencies are 1:3. Let me check. Start from here, this is the starting point, and let me go like this. And so this is okay. So this, follow this path while going from left to right and back to left. This is one cycle of Vx, and meanwhile we are going up, down, 0, one cycle, up, down, 0, two cycles, up, down, 0, three cycles of Vy.
Means, is there any relation between the means in this type of figures between the number of nodes in the figure and the relation between the ratio between the frequencies? Is there any relation?
There will be some possible relations which I don't know exact mathematical. There are normally a lot of charts you will get at different books and sources that for different ratios how the plots look like, and no need to memorize. So from those patterns you can find the ratio. Yes.
Sir, if sir Vx is sinusoidal, then after one cycle, if we start from left, should we not end at the left side as well?
Please
Because
repeat.
after
If
because
Vx
after-
is sinusoidal, we start from the left, then after one cycle we will stop at the left, right? That's what we are doing.
Sir, it should not be after one half cycle, because after one half cycle the amplitude is 0.
See, if something is moving like this, okay, sinusoidally, like a pendulum, okay, and this is moving sinusoidally, then one cycle means what? One cycle means start from here, go to the extreme right, and then come back. So go and come back and stop here. This is one cycle. Okay, and if you come here only from left to right, this is half cycle. Correct?
So actually, what I wanted to say, like in a sine wave,
Hmm.
we cross the 0 axis twice, right? In one full cycle.
In one full cycle, we cross the 0 twice, once from left to right, once from right to left.
So when we are crossing the 0, should the like, what should I say? Should we not be at the starting point?
No. See, I can see one complete cycle. You can always count from here, starting from here, go to right, come back, go to left, come back. This is also one complete cycle. And also, if you start from extreme left, go to right, come back to the left, this is also one complete cycle. Or you start from any arbitrary point, maybe here, then go to right, come back, go to left, and come back to the same point. This is also a complete cycle. Starting point may be arbitrary. Okay. So,
Sir, I have a last doubt, sir. For example, in the horizontal voltage, you are assuming that when the voltage becomes 0 for the first time, the electron stops at the left part and then again comes to the right. Stops at the right part and then again comes to the left, right?
Please
For the
repeat.
horizontal.
Please repeat.
Sir, if the horizontal, for example, if the horizontal voltage is sinusoidal, then when the first half cycle ends, the electron will be at the right part, and
Yes.
then when the next half cycle again starts, when the next half cycle starts, it will come to the left part, right?
Yes.
Sir, but the voltage here is actually applying the force, na? So in the first half cycle, at the end of the first half cycle, the force will be 0. But how means will the velocity be instantly reversed? There will be deceleration, na? But because at that time there will be some force. So how can you be sure that the velocity will be exactly reversed? Means
See, firstly, I mean, the position of, I mean, the rule is this: the position of the call it x and y. X and y is the coordinate. Okay. x coordinate is proportional to Vx, x coordinate is proportional to Vx, y coordinate is proportional to Vy. Don't go into the force and etc. detail because you assume that, I mean, this force etc. those things happen very fast. Therefore, at any, I mean, you can assume that for a small time interval, this voltage is constant. This voltage, if this voltage is constant, then that will give a constant deflecting effect, deflecting force you can call, and that will result in a constant deflected position. Okay, so this position is a function of the voltage, instantaneous voltage. Don't go into that detail that at one particular time the voltage is this much, so that means that voltage is applied on the electron at that point, but that electron will reach this screen after a while, and therefore the effect will be after a while. Don't go into that detail, that is not necessary because this things is very fast. Electrons reaches the screen from here to here in almost no time. Okay, and all our frequencies that we are measuring, they are much slower than the response time of the beam. Okay, therefore this is the rule: x coordinate of the beam is directly proportional to the x voltage. Sorry, this is the x voltage Vx, and y coordinate is directly proportional to the y coordinate. Okay, the response time, the dynamics, etc. That will not matter. That is the point.
Okay, I mean, then we can think like that, since the mass of the beam is very less, its inertia is very less, so the effect happens immediately. Like this, we can then assume.
Effect happens, I mean, the conclusion is that effect happens immediately without going into the mechanics of electrons, motions, etc. Dynamics. That's beyond beyond my knowledge actually. Yeah. Okay, so we will stop here today, but I'll be happy if you have any question.